Hi, Colin.
Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well.
I am. Thank you.
I'm jumping on that site today. I'm excited about that, actually.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was wondering. I was going to ask you because I actually was going to bring it up.
Yeah, I got you covered. I didn't know how much attention to bring to it or not. I think it's just one of the what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in a PR and just going to move the content over as is into the website and just use that as it's there. When as this draft matures, I'll just update the content, be fine, and then maybe we can choose to publish it as part of the hey, it's out there.
Like a GitHub action or something.
Let's see. I love all the chatter that's been happening in the issues, though.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty, it's gotten some refinements for me there too. So that's been nice. Yeah, that would be great to get it. I mean, I'm thinking we're going to work on that branch. And then once we're all happy, we're going to do a big PR to merge the branch into main. And sometimes I find like you write the stuff that gets the website published, and then you got to write the action or whatever, the pipeline task after.
Yeah, I would love to see this one kind of turn into over time, like its own example, right? Its own best practice. Like put this on a platform, have full Git ops, even if it's just for the doc site and it's way overkill. I think
That's a great idea. A golden path for publishing a doc site, and that's how we publish our docs. Not bad. I like it. I created a category, and if you want to open an issue and put it in there, like just a separate milestone, like one milestone to track through Feb 28, and then the next milestone for the next one. So if you create an issue like specifically about the website or something like that, you can just tag it into that.
Okay, I'll do that right now, actually. And it's in the app delivery repo, right?
Yeah.
My brain's getting a little scrambled with all the jump around.
Oh yeah, let me paste it into our chat here.
Yeah, I'm on there.
Oh, I just did. It's the one I just pasted. That's what I was. Hey Rafa, hey Aaron, how you doing? We'll get started in like one more minute. We'll see if more folks come or not.
I need to add a reminder to this thing.
Here's the notes for today. Yeah, so it's 10:03. Sometimes we get more people, sometimes we get less. So I think I would say let's go ahead and just get started. So the agenda here, I'm just going to walk through the agenda, which is, just to review where we're at with Ouija work. First is the milestones. So it looks like, well, we have me and Colin, who have signed up to own a section. Or Colin, do you actually own a section? And oh yeah, you do.
I think it's what is a platform.
Yeah.
I kind of co-own that.
Yeah, we had a couple of. You any update from you there, Thomas? Colin, how's it going?
There's been a lot of good discussion there. It's kind of been sit back and watch a little bit of it. I think it's moving in the right direction. A lot of the conversation has kind of fleshed out other areas where things should belong or be, if that makes sense. Like this particular thing doesn't belong in the what is a platform section, but please move this elsewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Leon, who's not here, but she's moving the capability provider stuff further on. So that's good. And actually, I put in a hot topic that I saw come up there. So I'll mention it. It was Thomas who I actually reached out. And I'll tell you in a minute, but he brought up, like, are we causing consternation by not having an adjective? And I said, like, this is a bike shedding moment. We don't want to go too far on it, but I do like the idea of like saying it's a platform for cloud native application delivery. I I did add, so that was the discussion there. That was kind of our, it seemed like Thomas was happy with that. A couple other people chimed in the same. So I did in the last PR kind of add that blurb. I didn't call it a cloud platform or a developer platform or an app platform or a delivery platform, all the different suggestions that have come along. But this is just literally copying our WeG name. So I thought maybe it would, cloud native application delivery is really what we do. So yeah, I guess, we don't have to talk about it now, but, chime in on that thread or on the PR where I did kind of use that phrasing.
Yeah, and I think one of the, I might actually reference it and comment back in the, make sure it's highlighted in here. One thing that I'm trying to do is continue to provide some back pressure on, like, this isn't a definition of how your product as a platform should function, right? This is talking about the platforms that teams develop to work together, or like, what does the platform mean? And so I'm just continuing to provide back pressure. Like, it's great that you want to include your product and how you think it solves this problem, but your product is not the complete platform that people will have in here. So I'm just trying to keep people buffered a little bit there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, a lot of the stuff could fit in other sections. Like, Aaron, you're here, I think, and we discussed like Pulumi and where that fits. Like, that goes in the capability section. I think Colin was you the one that bumped that down to us.
Yeah, it looks like you referenced it in capabilities also, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, and I think it's great. I think it's great for those things as well. Like, it's not an attack on the products at all. It's just one of those, everybody's assembling different solutions. There isn't an end all be all. And I just want to be careful that we don't, put a product out there and endorse it as like the platform, because it just kind of pulls away from what the definition of platform means for most teams. I think
so I actually put that
as their entire platform, but
yeah, that makes sense. I did put in that discussion, Aaron. I put it in here. Like, that has been a little bit of discussion. Everyone comes along and says, let's add my product, let's add mine. And I, we can't let it get too far. So that's why I kind of am thinking I wanted to bring it up with everyone, and I'm going to put it explicitly in something soon, but only CNCF projects. Like, since the purpose is not to be thorough, but we should add a note to that. It's to be guiding. It's to say, well, what do you mean by this? Well, take a look at these projects to give you an idea. So maybe we can get away with that. And then I definitely like, I mean, all the other open source, I mean, I think of HashiCorp stuff, Terraform and Vault. I mean, those stuff are very relevant. Other like open source projects that are not CNCF, like when we dive into these and say, oh, well, you got Kratix and Score and Crossplane, and they're all doing something similar. Like, we should bring them all in. Like Kratix, and Abby's not here, but that's not a CNCF project, neither is Score. So like, those won't get listed. But when we talk, we need those people involved. So Aaron, to you, like Pulumi, let's talk about like, how are people using these different tools? That's really what I want, second level, like Pulumi, Terraform, Kubernetes API, where do people use different things? Is it one or the other? Is it all together? Like, that would be the next level. So yeah, so I'm bringing it up here in case people want to discuss, of course, chime in the GitHub issues.
One thing that would be interesting, and just kind of brain dumping, if some of these examples where people are coming with platforms, if they are using any of these, some of the technologies that are listed underneath the hood, it would be kind of cool to see how that platform was assembled from some of those other technologies as an example of a platform itself, right? Yeah, and if those other platforms are showing us under the hood and being transparent about that, if I'm a platform engineer at Fortune 500 X who's been tasked about building this thing, I might go and say, oh, I was going to put all these things together, but I see this other product already uses these tools. I might as well use that one. Could be an interesting route for them.
Yeah, as you're saying, and I wrote this in the notes, one of the things I've been talking to folks about is like, do we want to have project presentations here? But I think what you just said, like if somebody comes in and brings a prototype platform and talks to us about how they put it together, that would be pretty valuable to us.
Yeah.
That's something we might look for.
Yeah, I really like that.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Aaron. I see your comment here. Pulumi would like to work with the CNCF in the future, but nothing definite now. No problem. No pressure at all. Like open source is open source. Just yeah, and it's not personal at all. I'm not putting Pulumi on the list. Just have to put the line somewhere.
Yeah, like
so
Josh, you're at Red Hat, right?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, so I mean, like OpenShift isn't on the list yet, you know.
No,
So
I
there you go.
don't think it belongs there, honestly. They'll be like Rancher or something, they don't, those are products based on the upstream projects. And I was thinking about that like with prototype platforms too. Like most enterprises, I hope, will like OpenShift or something that's total, even though our prototype will be Kubernetes and Helm and Flux. It's not going to be OpenShift or Rancher or Tanzu, but
it's a great example of one of these that like we just talked about with the prototype, right? Like, so we talk about Rancher a lot, like we do a lot of Rancher stuff and things there, but we talk it a lot as kind of like a core because it covers like Longhorn and does like the Grafana and Prometheus, and it just kind of compiles a lot of that stuff together for you, and then you can build on top of it. So it serves a purpose and fills out part of the overall whole of the platform. So it would almost serve as a great example there too, and showing how OpenShift can serve that example too. And then that gives a pathway for those contributors to weigh into and participate in the project. Interesting.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah. So like, and I have it on the list to talk about today. So this makes sense. Publish prototype platforms. I think what I'm hearing from you, Colin, is well, we could start with, KubeADM or KubeSpray or something and install Kubernetes, but there might also be value in building on K3S or Rancher or OpenShift or something for users that start there to build a platform.
Yeah, it's like, where's my crossover? And we obviously don't want to be the CNCF landscape.
Right.
Everything kind of, leads back to that, obviously. But yeah, how is this a platform product owner in your mindset? And, how did you assemble it? Show us under the hood so that we can learn from it or choose to use your product instead is a great, it's a great way into that.
Okay, I put that down. I don't know if we have any other section leads here. There's me. So capabilities, I have that PR up. We had an interesting discussion I was going to mention about capabilities versus features. And the conclusion is that a capability is a top level domain like observability or data services or identity, and features are properties of that capability. So the example that came for me was I provide a capability of observability. The features it provides are it gathers logs, it tracks metrics, it tracks cost. I put cost in observability, by the way. Identity might be it issues certificates, it defines a workload identity, those might be different features. So I might take a PR at adding a line like that. It's not really the place in the paper for it, but maybe it's a chance to set a definition. It might be more appropriate in the next level deeper. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. And I also wanted to say, and I know that in case for people watching the video, PRs, that's the way we should do it. And so here's one, so just a PR against the platform's V1 Alpha 1 branch with edits that you propose. That's when that counts as final. So the discussion doesn't count for anything till there's a PR. Okay. Going down the list. Yeah, what's up, Colin? Do you have something? Do you want to say something?
Oh, sorry. I'm looking through the PRs. Okay, I see the V1 Alpha 1. No, you're good. My only other question is going to be on your last agenda. So I'm good, Roll.
Okay. So we just said now we'd like to perhaps have people demonstrate prototype platforms. On that, then actually I'm going to move it down, down here, so because I think it's related. So I'll move I'm trying to talk to folks, and if you, I don't know, meaning all of you, I just reached out, and if you have some time, maybe I just kind of interviewing each folks that are participating to gather their feedback. So yeah, I'm just trying to find you, get feedback on how the group is going, what you think we should do next, and how you're building platforms.
See, I think
Yeah.
was it Abby who mentioned somebody mentioned having like an interview template, or there
Yeah.
was some other resources. Do you know, have you heard anything on that?
I brought that up, and I want to do that. I just haven't had a chance yet.
I didn't know if somebody owned it. I'm not raising my hand for it. I'm hoping somebody else who's better at that stuff does it. But
Yeah, I think it's
I'm great at
still,
the interviewing, but
I think it's still waiting for a volunteer. Yeah, I mean, I will, it's on my backlog, so I will get to it eventually. I just, I haven't been able to work on it. I just pasted in what we had before. This was what we wrote like a year and a half ago, so it definitely needs an overhaul. But maybe it's someplace to start. But yeah, I think we need a framework like that to guide us.
do you prefer to just go ahead and like when it comes to customers and people implementing platforms that aren't participants here, just go ahead and start talking to people and just getting on calls with them? Or do we want to wait until there's content to like a common framework to use?
I mean, I am not opposed. If you like to interview users and you can gather information and want to share it with us somehow, no problem. I'm the reason I put all structure is to kind of just help people that don't know, or I think the harder part for me is actually getting the call scheduled and getting on the call, like finding the people. So I mean, I'm totally open, and if you want to, you could just publish it. We could create a folder in Platforms WG location in the GitHub and put like a summary or a synopsis or notes and some metadata in there for every interview, if they're open to it, if they're interviewee.
Yeah, we might use, maybe they'll be more comfortable with do that if we do that in like a Google Doc.
Less public, less permanent.
Yeah, that's cool though. I'll just put some feelers out for some of the larger orgs that I can interact with, that we can just ask them about, like, hey, I just want to talk about what your motivations are and what your definition of platform is and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was talking with Abby about this a bit, and like, yeah, how do we find the customers? And like, Red Hat or our company could help us find customers, but how do we make sure we're representing the open area? And
yeah,
so, any
I don't
ideas?
work for any of the big guys. I'm kind of Switzerland, so I'm happy to help with that too.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Yeah, and we'll iterate and go. And I feel like the whole paper to me is like, well, it's just agile. Let's develop it agilely. Like V1, if we think this is it, then we should learn from our own software. Like there's got to be a V2. So let's get user feedback and iterate.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to go the next thing in this agenda. So next level, this would be, so Aaron, I actually brought this up in our thing, and Taras's proposal probably would go here also. I just wanted to bring it up, like, since Colin, you shared the CNCF maturity model app, like there's a lot, if we're going to use a form like that, then we'll have the opportunity to put on the side, like platform as product as a topic, however we name it, deep dive into capabilities as a topic. I just wanted to bring that up. Like for me, like I'm still trying to get this paper out the door. So like, I'm not necessarily going to the next level yet, but like, let's think about that, as Colin, as you work on that, maybe we can learn, trying to put on people's radar. Yeah. So Colin, so you said you're going to work on a PR. I'm going to put that down here.
Yeah, and I'm adding the issue for it now.
Oh, sweet, perfect. And I'll link that in.
Let's see. There's a couple of templates here. Infrastructure for apps use case. Is that it?
Yeah. Oh, that's for the questions. Oh, when you open an issue, just click open another issue. Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, I'll tag the issue in here.
Open a line.
You create it. Okay. Jumping down the list, I guess kind of last one is Mauricio at Salaboy. He's back and he wants to contribute, help out. So he wants to donate his his cloud platform prototype to us or talk with us about using it. I started a list of, and Rafaela, you'll see yours is in here, a list of prototype, cloud platform prototypes just for my own sake to kind of like get a sense of what's out there. I don't know if I can ask Mauricio. We're meeting on Thursday at 8 o'clock Chicago time, so that's 1400 UTC. So if you want to come and join, it's just me, Leon, and whoever was on that thread. It was a thread in the Ouija platforms. In fact, let me paste it in so that people know about it. This one. Copy link. There it is. So this is the thread. So Rafa, if you want to come, no pressure. But
yeah. So that would be 9 o'clock for me. Which time? Which day? Sorry.
Thursday. This Thursday.
Okay.
Let me see if I can forward you the invite if I have permission.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. No, actually, I can't.
Okay. Well, I forwarded it to you anyway. Okay, I guess we'll see how that goes. Yeah. I'm sure we all have ideas on, what we want to do there. I'm gonna write down, make a meeting Thursday at 1400 UTC. See this thread. So if anybody else wants to join us. Yeah, and then the last thing on the list, which we talked about, is we're just trying to gather feedback and interview platform builders. If anybody wants to, get started going on that, there's the issue template if you want to work from there. If you just want to go interview people, let us know, no problem. I'm trying to reach out to people. If you have a half hour, and we overlap, just to, and you feel like, and you're open to giving me feedback, and then I'm meeting with folks too. Yeah, that's really it. Yeah.
Quick question. And this is just for me for not having been super involved with some of the other stuff. So KubeCon. Is there stuff that like we work towards with scheduling for KubeCon, or is there like going to be a Monday event or meetup? I will be there, KubeCon EU, but I'm just kind of getting ahead of the game, and I don't know if it. I'm just getting aligned with what the milestones like.
We should. So there are a couple things. So one is that we submitted a talk with a few of us to do like a panel on platforms. We'll see if that gets accepted. Thomas and I submitted to do a talk for Tag App Delivery about operators and platforms. So see if that gets accepted. But the stuff we did in KubeCon North America in Detroit, there were a couple things we did. We had like a tag meeting on the day before for a few hours where a few maintainers came together and presented to each other and defined, things we're working on. I think that was pretty helpful. And then we had like an hour kind of unmeetup at the Red Hat booth. I haven't heard from the tag leads anything about some sort of pre-day. I guess I think that there were so many in Detroit. I think they wanted a little bit fewer. I'm not opposed. I benefit from it. I'd love to do something, it's just, I guess if there's interest, we can try to figure it out. I guess first thing is, do we want to do something before or during? We should definitely at least do something where we get together for a couple hours, even if it's just a project meeting. I'll write that down.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds like it's pretty early anyway to start planning for that. Let's just get ahead.
Well, I think it's kind of up to us is what I'm seeing right now. Like last time in Detroit, Thomas and Alois were like, let's have a Tag App Delivery meetup the day before. And then it was like, well, what are we going to do there? And who wants to present? So maybe I haven't heard from them this time. So I'm almost thinking like they're not going to do it. But if we want to, we can. I kind of lean to doing something during the event. Although I don't want to take away from other things.
Maybe that's a good way for us to get some interview stuff is try
That's
to
true
maybe
also.
line up a panel of even people implementing the prototype platforms or platforms themselves.
Seek feedback. Yeah, that's definitely. In fact, we could even have like a hackathon. I was even thinking that, like, what if we build a platform hackathon kind of thing?
That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Build a platform from CNCF projects, not just CNCF, but
I like that. I like that.
yeah, what would that take? I mean, we could do something concentrated, like get a
Let's
room or
do
something. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, like, what if we had a table near the project booths? We had a project booth and it was about building platforms from all the other projects. All right. Yeah, I'll keep thinking about that. Yeah, so that's all that's on the agenda. Anything else that we should discuss here, folks? Going once, going twice. All right, we get a half hour back. Okay, I'll see you on Slack, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Thanks everybody for contributing.
Josh,
Peace.
I added an issue for the website. If you can just assign it to me, I don't have assigned permissions.
Okay, headed over there right now. Issues. Yes, thank you so much, Colin. That's awesome.
Hey man, I'll get after it.
All
I
right,
appreciate it.
peace.
See y'all.
Bye.